Welcome everyone. I hope you can hear me. Maybe you can give me like a quick thumbs up if you can hear me. Amazing. Perfect. I hope you liked the little intro. It's a bit Berlin vibes with electronic music. So I hope you enjoyed that. I think actually some people are still dropping in. We're currently 27, I see. So I assume maybe in the next couple of minutes there will be even more people joining in. I see there is a hand raised. Exactly, so we can use this feature for when you have like during the presentation some urgent questions. You can do the hand raise feature and then we can basically look at your question. So I have seen there was a hand raised. I don't see it now anymore. Is there still a question from... No, I think it's not showing up anymore. But yeah, make sure to use this feature. Also, you can use the chat feature and you can directly write questions. And we're a couple of people from the DSSG Berlin core team here in the call, so we can make sure in parallel to also answer questions in the chat. So, coming back to the presentation, first of all, a really warm welcome to all of you, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the 7th edition of the Datathon that we organize at DSSG Berlin. I will soon share some details about what is actually DSSG Berlin. I'm not sure if you have heard about us before. Also not sure if you know actually what a Datathon is. I will also explain this. And I will tell you also why it's already the 7th edition. In the 7th edition, we have 2 exciting projects. One with a non-profit German Red Cross, or in German Deutsches Rotes Kreuz. And we have for the first time in the 7 editions of the Datathons an open data use case. And this open data use case is majorly basing the data on the World Bank data. So also more details to share about this later on. Let's jump right in. So I'm not sure if you're familiar who we are, DSSG Berlin. Maybe you crossed some DSSG organization before, but maybe here a quick summary of who we are. We are a non-profit organization ourselves, and we were founded in 2015. So yes, already like nearly 10 years. We can maybe think about a nice event next year. And we are based in Berlin, so that's why we have Berlin in the name. But honestly, we're a totally international network. Me, myself, for example, I'm not living in Berlin anymore, so I'm based in Spain now, but I'm also part of the core team. And we do everything nearly remotely, besides like on-site events. But yeah, we're based in Berlin, but our network is totally worldwide. We are currently 5 core team members, and most of them are also today in the call, and you will see them in different roles during the Datathon. And also us, the core team members, we're all volunteers ourselves. So this is maybe a specialty about DSSG Berlin, because we are totally 100% volunteer run. We are a network of more than 300 volunteers, and our volunteers come from data science background, data analytics, political science, machine learning, anyone who's interested in data. We have already partnered up with more than 30 nonprofits. I also have a more detailed slide about this. And this is very important maybe to know about us. What is actually our mission? So why do we exist is we help other nonprofits to make use of their data by connecting them with volunteer data scientists and analysts, as for example that you are. So thanks for joining today, and giving also some bit more details of these nonprofits that we worked with. So for example, with which kind of nonprofit organizations do we work? It is very important for us that they're politically and religiously neutral, and of course to be able to work on something data related, that they on the one hand have specific questions that can be used with either data analytics, data science, also data engineering. So this is something new that we kind of started tapping into also from this year on. And this is not always true. So we work of course, a lot of times with nonprofits that hold the relevant data, the third point here. But we also have done quite some use cases where we as DSSG Berlin become, let's say, the data collectors by web scraping, such as that we use also, for example, in the German Red Cross project, that we will know more about this later. But yeah, these are, let's say, the three main points why we choose to work with certain nonprofit organizations. And down here, maybe you know some of them. So when you're maybe not from Germany, most of these organizations might not sound familiar to you, but because they're mostly German organizations. But this is, for example, an excerpt of some of the nonprofits that we worked with. We support, so today you're in the whole weekend, you're in the Datathon. This is a data science hackathon, but we also have several methods how we support. And just a side note, so today, like in the intro session, I will give some more background information about DSSG Berlin, and also really that you understand what we are, what the Datathon is, because we won't have time for this to cover this tomorrow in the opening ceremony. So we have some more time today to talk about these topics. There are different ways. So for example, one is workshops that we organize. If a nonprofit has a specific question that needs a lot of brainstorming, needs maybe strategic thinking, or thinking about, okay, with this data at hand, what use cases are, for example, possible, then we organize workshops with them. They mostly last like 1.5 to 2 hours. This is like also the big part of our mission. So we match a lot of times nonprofits and their projects with volunteers from our community. We organize, for example, like this event, hackathons and other events. We also have, because we're based in Berlin, we have some monthly on-site events like community events in Berlin. But we also do like remote social events. We do Christmas parties, lots of fun events also. Yeah. So also now that you're joining or like basically part of the Slack workspace, you will always get information about this. And we have long-term projects. So for example, we already had 2 long-term projects with the German Red Cross. And actually the use case of this Datathon is based on these 2 long-term projects. But more information also today or even tomorrow than in the opening ceremony. Yeah, let's talk more about the Datathon. So the Datathon is what we call it Datathon. Maybe some others also call it like this. I have no idea. But this is, we call it like data science hackathon. Important for us is that's data hacking for social good. One thing that is new is, so like the collaboration with nonprofits was always like a given. And this year we have like a new open data challenge, and we want to see how this goes. So this is currently like the 2 focus areas we have. And important, so yes, today is Friday and it ends the Datathon at 12 on Sunday, or like Central European summertime. But these are, of course, not 24 hours, but today is only the intro session. So the hacking does not start today. The hacking starts tomorrow. I will have a look later also at the agenda. But the hacking is basically a 24-hour duration. So it starts Saturday and ends on Sunday. Here you can have like an overview of past editions. So I said it was this year, the 7th edition. So here are the 6 past editions we had in all the years that we organized it, and also with different organizations that were involved. And we have an after movie. This is not from the last year's Datathon, but from the Datathon from 2021. And I will share my screen, and I hope you can hear also the sound. Let's have a look at the agenda. Everything again, because maybe you are in different time zones, but again, this agenda relating to Central European summertime. So we are currently Friday, May 24, in the intro event. So we're getting to know the Datathon and the participants. So later it's going to be a bit more interactive. Tomorrow, it starts at 9 a.m. So early birds, they like it. If you're not early bird, then make sure to set an alarm. It starts with the opening ceremony. So in the opening ceremony, we will just quickly do an introduction from DSSG Berlin side, but we will not have time to go into details of the organization itself. The focus will be discussing the use cases, also getting to know the German Red Cross, and then diving into team matching and the specific data questions. And at 10 a.m. is the Datathon start. We have several things planned during the day. So at 1 p.m. will be a cross-project check-in where you discuss, even though you work in different projects, you discuss with the whole Datathon the status. And we also planned some fun time. And we have this cross-project check-in at 7 p.m. And some goodie is we have remote dinner, and we then kind of plan to eat dinner, or maybe also if it's lunch or whatever for you, that we all eat this together. And we will basically give you up to 15 euros and pay your dinner that you deliver. And we use Volt for this. And in case, for example, this is something you can already check, and you can write this in Slack. If your city does not have Volt as delivery service, you can also use an alternative service and send us then the receipt. But yeah, more information will be coming for this. And Sunday, it starts with a remote breakfast. So everyone can get tea, coffee, croissant, whatever. Have a quick chit chat, and at 10 a.m. the final presentations start, where you are being presenting the results, what you have come up with 24 hours hacking, and this lasts 2 hours. So at 12 the Datathon is finished. Now let's have a short look at the projects. As I said, today will not be the focus of the projects, because you will also not get any data access yet. All of this happens tomorrow with the opening ceremony, when the opening ceremony is finished. And no hacking will start today. So today, after the intro session, you can go have a chill evening, go to bed, and be fresh for the weekend. But we already want to give you some information. I'm currently checking. So the first project we want to tell you about is with the Deutsches Rotes Kreuz, the German Red Cross. And we have one short slide giving an information. And in case you're comfortable, maybe Benjamin, US Data Ambassador, can quickly give some information about the project itself.
Good afternoon or good evening from my side, depends on where you are located in the world. Regarding the project with the Red Cross, it's actually one or the final phase of the project. As Julia mentioned, the project ran over 2 years now in several phases, and we've collected data via web scraping, and we wanted to look for the social services the Red Cross provides across Germany. And now that we've collected the services, we want to compare it to the current standard. So they gave us the data of the Dienstleistungsdatenbank, like the database containing their services they collected via surveys. And we want to compare that and to come up with an evaluation, saying if the web scraping and the NLP pipeline we built, if this actually is better than the recent standard of the survey. And so, as you can see on the slide, correlation analysis, regression, descriptive statistics, and visualization with with maps will be helpful. And on the upper right corner, you can see a mosaic illustration of all the websites we scraped. It has been more than 400, and we collected such a big amount of data, like more than 600,000 websites in total, or web pages in total. And so this was web scraping, and on the left upper side there is the current standard. You can find it in the internet. It's dak-angebote.de, and in the current standard there's something like 10,000 or 20,000 services listed, and with the web scraping and the NLP pipeline we built, we collected like 30,000. So this is one early figure. Like, this suggests that the web scraping can find or identify more services online, which is suggesting that the web scraping could be helpful in the end. And the results of the evaluation, like the results of the weekend, we are planning to make it public, so other people can use it and can think about whether the web scraping could also be useful for their use case. And web scraping is actually far well known, like for web scraping shops or retail. Retail is shops actually, like housing web pages is web scraped also. But in the social service area, this is something new. So if you want to be part of such a unique experience, you can join in.
Great. Thanks a lot, Benjamin, for the explanation. And actually, this just came across my mind. So I also, in another data network, I came across that in the UK, they would also like to do this. And this would be also, web scraping would be like a new approach for like collecting social services for them. This is also something I came across. Cool. Thanks for the introduction. This is the one project we have with the German Red Cross about the social services landscapes in Germany. The other project we have is the Open Data project, using data from the World Bank on the topic of education and economic prosperity. And maybe Hassan, you could also share quickly some overview of the project.
Sure. Hello everyone, I am Hassan, and in this challenge we will use the open source data from the World Bank initiative or World Bank group, that is about 40 plus metrics for around 200 countries for over 30 to 50 years, and we'll see the effect of different educational factors like literacy rates and school completion rates and school dropout rates and all that, government expenditures, onto economic growth factors like labor force proportions and GDP and other things. And there will be descriptive analytics about observing the effects of education on economic growth, predictive analytics to generalizing patterns about actions and then the impact, and also prescriptive analytics about prescribing or suggesting actions for local and global organizations like ministries of education in different countries or global institutions like the United Nations or other labor force or economic growth platforms. And we also have some sub-challenges within this main challenge to focus on different aspects, which we'll see later on. So excited to see you in this work.
Cool. Thanks, Hassan, for a short overview of the project. Then I will jump and continue. So these are the two projects that we have in the Datathon, but more details are coming tomorrow, so don't worry about this yet. Let's get to it, to some organizational notes. We have already seen some first messages coming in Slack. So there is this main channel Datathon -2024. Exactly, do it like Armin and Sophia and write a short text because we're all virtually or remotely placed in other locations. So use this, change your profile picture to either your own picture, or if you don't want to show your picture, to a character that you like. Write something about your hobbies, get to know each other also there. In case you're not yet in the Slack channel, write me an email, and with that, for example, your Slack profile name, in case you are already in our Slack workspace, but not yet in the channel because the channel is private. Or write your entire email address when you're not even in the Slack workspace of DSSG. I have an easy email, so it's just julia@dssg-berlin.org. Maybe also someone can post it in the chat. I think that's the easiest. The next thing we will use, as we're using now, Google Meets for video calls. It should look something like this, your calendar. So you should have gotten an invite now to the intro session. Tomorrow it starts at 9 with the opening ceremony. At 1 p.m. the project call. At 7 p.m. the project call with a dinner. We have also, this is like this thing that's going the whole Saturday and Sunday. We have an entirely open call during the whole hacking time. So from 10 a.m. Saturday to 10 a.m. Sunday. And more to this later. The breakfast and the closing ceremony. In case you have not received the calendar invites, write Vadim a message. This also very simple email. Maybe also Vadim, you can post it in the chat. Vadim@dssg-berlin.org. And then he can make sure that you receive the calendar invites. Another tooling that we use is GitHub. So we have, and maybe I didn't mention this yet, so the two people, Benjamin and Hassan, that presented the projects are also, we call them data ambassadors. So they're the current experts of the use cases of the projects of the Datathon. And they also, they prepped the use case, they prepped the data, the questions. So they are your, let's say, main contact for the project. And they, for example, manage the access to the repositories on GitHub. So here again, German Red Cross project. This is Benjamin's Slack short profile name handle. And for the World Bank Open Data Project, Hassan. And in case you're not familiar with GitHub, you never used it, also don't worry. Just make sure when you, create notebooks, Excels, PDFs, images, whatever, that you just find a good way to share this with the rest of your team during the Datathon. And the data ambassadors will then push and take these assets and push them to the repository. Then one thing, I think I posted it before on the Slack channel, is about the consent for public relations purposes. So we will do a lot of public relations, so PR on LinkedIn, on X, Twitter, the old one, Mastodon. So if you want to get tagged on the platforms, fill out the consent PR sheet. I shared this in Slack. And exactly, we will make images, videos, something like this, for example. This was from last year, yeah. And let us know. So it's basically let's say, an opt-out mechanism. So let us know if you really don't want to be in any of them. And we advise you also before we make screenshots or videos of the participants. In case of questions, so here comes this open Google Meets link that is open during the whole hacking time. There you can speak to the participant buddy. So we will make sure the participant buddy is in the call. Now you will ask yourself, what is the participant buddy? The participant buddy is some of the Datathon organizers that is in that time the participant buddy, so helping you with all questions related to the Datathon, in case you have tooling problems or any other question. This person is the contact. In case you don't want to talk with a video call, but more write asynchronously, you can also write in the main Slack channel, so Datathon-2024. Or write a direct message to this current participant buddy And because we will have shifts, it will not be the same person Saturday and Sunday, and also today. And this person announces that he or she is currently the participant buddy in the Slack channel. So make sure to look out for this. And now we come to you, to the participants. So it's already super interesting to see from where you're joining. So here, like a map that we took from Eventbrite, with really like all the different locations and all the different continents from where you're joining. Really cool and exciting to see this. So probably we have a couple of different time zones in here. And also, this was interesting to see what the top 3 cities and top 3 countries are. So I have them here. The top 3 cities. So, I mean, the top city could be quite easy to guess because we're DSSG Berlin. But the top 3 cities are Berlin, Hamburg, and Vienna. So Berlin, Hamburg in Germany, and Vienna in Austria. And the top 3 countries, Germany, India, and Italy. So yeah, really exciting to see. And now this was like the end of the official like giving you information. And now we want to go to the interactive part. And we will set up soon breakout rooms. And in the breakout rooms, you introduce yourself with different questions. But before we do the interactive part, I would actually like to go back to stop sharing my screen. And maybe we can see before we dive into the different rooms if there are like overall general questions that you have and you're stuck with something. So let me just stop sharing now.